Jonathan, you're gonna have to forgive me, man. I spent all night just going over this PFK.
Yep, penny face killer.
I might look a little distraught.
You do.
Problem.
You're very distraught. Oh, Jared. Why? How come this?
Put that right there.
How come this murderer, psychopathic son of a gun is putting such an effect on you when you've had over a 70-year career on the force? You've dealt with many murderers, many mass murderers. You've seen it all. Why so specifically the panty face killer is putting you in this way?
I just feel like he's really close to me. I feel like sometimes I'm looking right across the table and he's just smiling right at me. That's what I feel like.
Right.
I'm trying to separate myself
Yeah.
from how personal my feelings are about the PFK.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, I just, hunch is telling me, open your eyes, buddy. Go with your gut.
The classic detective handbook. You know what? You look stressed.
Yeah.
Hang on. Come here.
Okay.
Take off this stupid little shirt. Get this off. Oof. You need a shower. Come here. I'm going to rub your neck.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. Loosen up.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. Oh, those hands.
Oh, you like that?
Those hands are real strong.
Yeah.
I feel like they can relieve stress.
Stressed?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sound like you're about to say you think my hands could strangle a woman.
Whoa. No, I wouldn't go there at all.
Well, I've done a couple drug busts where I've taken down a 300-pound man, so I guarantee these hands could strangle a woman.
Oh.
I mean, if we're just going to start picking things, I mean, they could strangle a child easily.
So
a woman, definitely.
Okay. So,
a rabid dog, probably not.
Right. So to distract myself, I pulled up a real cold case file from 1975.
Why you keep going back to these cases that you never solved in the middle of your career?
Well, I feel like my latest case is almost just right in front of me.
Right.
So sometimes I need to dig in the past to understand my future.
Oh my gosh, that is so interesting.
And that's why I pulled up the case file, the Jezebels, a.k.a. the Switchblade Sisters, a.k.a. the Playgirl Gang.
Wait a minute.
A.k.a.
No.
the Dagger Debs.
Hang on. How many titles is for this movie?
3.
And one
I
of
made
them
up that
is
4th one.
If you have a movie called The Jezebels, you have a movie called The Dagger Debs, you have a movie called Switchblade Sisters.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, I got to see this. Went down to go get it. And then I noticed, poof, file's gone. The dusty box is gone. The film is gone. And it was all checked out by somebody very close to me. I had to open my eyes to see it. It was you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I saw your little signature on there. Oh, Jared. Oh, he's one step ahead, yet he can't catch the PFK.
Your accusational stare has been saying that, like, I have the most to gain by the disappearance of Santiago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, because, Cap already talked to me. And Cap said, yeah, because he asked to have Santiago's corner office. And I went, wait, what?
All right, cut the... That is not how this conversation went. You know why I know that?
Why?
It's because look underneath your chair right now.
Oh my God. What is it?
A tape recorder. And this is exactly how that conversation went. I'm going to play it for you right now.
He's leaving, kid. What do you mean? He's out of here. But Cap, you gotta listen to something. What's that? God strike me dead. This is wrong. I think that Jared might have had something to do with Santiago's Don't even start! Look at me. You never betray your partner.
All right. And I want you to know that I forgive you.
Oh, yeah?
But don't ever lie to me again.
Well, look what's under your seat.
What?
Check it out.
Oh, God damn it. It's a tape recorder.
Why don't you just play that, buddy boy?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to play.
Okay.
Hey, Cap, what's going on with Jonathan? Why is he crying?
The kid, I told him the news. You're taking Santiago's office. You're probably not gonna be partners anymore.
I think that's for the best, though, because I really got to be honest with you. Jonathan also keeps talking about this day club. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Oh?
I've been looking at a lot of similarities between the PFK and Jonathan Sourdough Mano.
Don't even start. You know how many times he's saved you from getting fired? That man's a saint. Look at me. You never betray your partner. All I need you to do is bring in the panty-faced killer and find Santiago.
I think I owe you an apology.
You don't owe me nothing.
I do.
You're taking the corner office. I'm a little bit jealous 'cause I feel like you're just moving up through the world.
Don't say
But
that.
as my best friend, I really should just be happy for you. And you know what?
Yeah.
I want to catch the panty-faced killer. I'm also so involved in this. I feel like he's almost a part of me now. I feel like I can think like him. I just feel like I can embody him, and
I just want you to know, I'm sorry.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But first, do you want to help me solve this cold case file?
I can't think of anything more that I'd want to do.
Yeah. The Jezebels, also known as the Switchblade Sisters, also known as Playgirl Gang. This was rated R and it was released in May of 1975. Now, it had a budget of $320,000 and it made worldwide $51,000.
That's bad. How much money did they spend?
$320,000.
Hang on, let me put it in this machine here. $320,000.
But it made $51,000. So just go ahead and minus
So
51.
hang on, let the machine do the work.
Sorry.
Okay, the taxpayers paid for the stupid machine.
I agree.
And I read the whole manual on how to work it. So just back off.
Sorry.
A little coal at the bottom here to get it running. There we go. Let me pull this crank. See, now when the red light's on, that means it's computing. So just give it a second. A ticket's gonna print out. Okay.
How long is this thing made to
Hang
compute?
on. And then you gotta crank this wheel and press this pedal. And then okay, now it's printing. You see that?
Yeah.
All right. Now I just run over here and put it on a magnifying glass. And it looks like it lost $269,000. That's in such a negative money in the pocket. The studio execs were walking around months after that with just their pockets inside out.
Would you mind reading the incident report for me?
Absolutely.
Oh, I think I heard your can empty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're reading the incident report. I'm going to get you another can.
The leader of an inner city girl gang is challenged when a new girl moves into the neighborhood. That's the incident report. You know what? It just tell you about girls? When you're the leader of an inner city girl gang, as I have been doing a lot of research on gangs, obviously, another girl moving into the neighborhood should not be your biggest concern. It should be other gangs, drugs, cops, you and me.
Obviously, you don't know anything about women.
Well, no. I know a lot about gangs.
Women are very threatened by other females.
Really?
Let's get into the usual suspects. Centaur Pictures.
Cool. I don't know what else they made.
It's the best of both worlds.
Wow.
You have the torso of a man, but you're hung like a horse.
Check it
Centaur
out.
Film Company was an American motion picture production company, which was founded in 1907.
1907?
Yeah.
Holy hell. Give me a second here, Jared.
Are you going to run
Because
the
that is
calculator
a
again?
long time ago.
2023.
Hey, let the machine do it.
All right.
Okay, in about 7 minutes,
Okay.
the ticket's going to print out, and we're going to
figure out
have
how
how many
long ago
years
that
ago
was.
that was.
While it's working on that, I'm going to go into more information about Centaur Pictures. Centaur Film Company was founded by William and David Horsley. Oh, Horsley.
Centaur. Okay.
Yeah. It was the first independent motion picture company in the United States.
Whoa,
That's
wait a
incredible.
tickle pits. Really?
Yeah.
It was the first independent motion picture company in the United States?
Centaur Film Company.
That's so interesting. Good for them. That's a big, Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out. Here we go.
What? How long ago was it?
116 years ago.
Whoa.
Is that right? God, I hope this machine's working. It's a lot of money.
I can't
There's
tell.
literally 3 schools not being built so we can get this in the office.
Now, here's an interesting side note from one of the employees there. Cinematographer Charles Rocher, who went on to work for Centaur in 1909, recalled, well, I wouldn't exactly call it a studio, he says. It was really nothing but a shop with a lot of bathtubs for developing the film. They used to go out and make pictures with an improvised camera, and they would become the first independent producers.
They're badass renegades.
Yeah.
Trailblazers. They had a makeshift camera. There needs to be a movie about those two guys, the Horsley brothers.
Yeah.
God, there it is again, man. Guys with nuts, not asking permission, just doing the things that they want to do.
Developing film in bathtubs.
And they got horse dicks. That's sick, man. Is that where the energy comes from?
In 1909, the company added a West Coast production unit, the Nestor Film Company, which established the first permanent film studio in Hollywood, California in 1911.
Wow.
The company was then absorbed by Universal Film Manufacturing Company in 1912.
Whoa. Absorbed? Interesting.
More importantly, another side note, actors working for Centaur included Francis Ford, who joined the company in 1908 and inspired his younger brother, John Ford, to also enter the film industry.
John Ford?
Yeah, that is the production team.
John Ford is a legendary film director.
Yeah.
And he just got brought into it by his older brother.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I've never been brought into anything besides an argument. Ugh. I want to just stumble upon something. Like, why can't I be walking down the street and then I trip over like an AK-47? And then some dude's like, hey, that's my AK-47. And I go, sorry. He goes, I'm going to sell it. Want to come along? And I go, sure. And then I become like an international gun smuggler. But that's not what happened.
Distributors, Centaur Releasing. This movie, the Jezebels, also known as the Switchblade Sisters, it became redistributed under Quentin Tarantino's label in 1996, Rolling Thunder Pictures.
Rolling Thunder Pictures is his thing, huh?
Prime suspects. Did you know that it took 3 writers to write the Jezebels?
Can we just call it the Switchblade Sisters?
Yeah, let's do that.
It's like, what is a Jezebel?
Like a biblical harlot. Jezebels say, like, if you touch me again, I'll cut your little peck off.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So 3 writers, 2 of which they never wrote again after they wrote the Switchblade Sisters.
Well, when you write your magnum opus on the first try, why keep going?
Okay. So writers F.X. Mayer and also John Prizer, this was their first and last screenplay.
His first name is FX.
Yeah.
F.
F is in Frank, X is in Xavier.
Yeah, there's no other X names.
There's also Xander, if you're cool.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, that's not spelled with a Z?
Yeah. No, it's spelled with an X.
Get out of here.
Xander is spelled with an X.
Xander?
Yeah. Vin Diesel went by Xander in Triple X.
That movie was sick. Favorite part in that is when that hot ass chick was in the red lingerie dancing on the giant bedpost.
You know, she was
And
the
then he
reason
goes-
why
Why?
that chef guy.
Time out. You're telling me Anthony Bourdain because of that chick dancing on the bedpost, and then Vin Diesel's all over and goes, things I do for my country. Why would that scene make him know? How'd you get that information?
I thought about it.
No, I'm telling you right now, I think it was just pure
Oh, hold on.
depression.
Hold on. I'm getting it. My pager's going off. Let me call. Hold on a second.
Jared, who is it?
My attorney.
What the hell are you saying? We don't talk about Bourdain.
Well, I thought it was true.
You had a thought? You can't just have assumptions based on a hunch.
No, I'm
and
not allowed to
expect
have
them
a
be
hunch
correct,
anymore.
Especially
huh?
when it comes to public figures.
And then put 2
You're
and
free
2.
associating about nonsense.
It's not free
You
association.
should say
sister
it's
has
not
one.
true and apologize publicly to the Bourdain estate right now.
Jared,
before you
Jared.
get sued.
Oh, did you tell him I said hey?
My attorney?
Yeah.
No, but I do have to make a public disclaimer that none of that was factual information, and I do owe Anthony Bourdain an apology.
You do.
And I am sorry.
And I accept. Here's the thing. God,
We're not
Vin
talking
Diesel
about
comes
Triple
in,
X.
We're not. The things I do for my country. Because he was about to sleep with that woman because it was given to him by the Chechen
Jonathan, we
warlord.
need to focus. Okay. Jack Hill was the most important one who wrote this screenplay. Here's the profile on Jack Hill. Attended Hollywood High School. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's sick as hell. You probably get laid like day one.
Well, Jack Hill's father was a set designer for Warner Brothers in 1925
Wow.
and later for Walt Disney Studios, where his father eventually designed the Disney Castle.
Get out of here. Jack Hill's dad designed the Disney Castle?
You better believe it.
That's cool.
Interesting note, Jack Hill worked with Jack Nicholson in The Terror in 1963.
Oh.
He actually said Jack Nicholson is a terrible actor.
Okay, first off.
But he saw Jack Nicholson in The Little Shop of Horrors in 1960. He rethought his opinion and he just said, you know what? Maybe Jack has just been miscast until now.
Thanks for changing your opinion there, Jack Hill.
Today, I also learned Jack Nicholson was in a movie called The Little Shop of Horrors in 1960.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
have you seen it?
I thought the first
Obviously
movie
not.
was just with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis.
No. He stopped acting completely to raise his kids because his wife died of cancer. We always talk about all these men
Yeah.
that are doing really badass things.
Of
And
course.
they got the nuts and the swinging dicks, and they go out and they take what's theirs and they do what they want and they don't let anybody stop them. And some of them fail and some of them make it. But same applies to
Rick Moranis?
Yes, because he's like, my wife passed away. I'm backing off. I'm raising my kids.
Okay,
Absolutely.
moving on. Personal quote from Jack Hill. He says, I always wanted people to feel positive at the end of my films. I always wanted to be careful to try to juxtapose humor with the violence and tragedy. I think I accomplished that. And perhaps this is why a generation or two later, my films are still popular.
What movies has he done that's such in high demand?
Glad you mentioned that.
Okay.
As the director, let me pull out this file. Jack Hill has done 18 projects.
Jack Hill do Bloodbath.
Yes, he did in 1966.
Good for him.
And before that, he did Mondo Keyhole.
A
also
movie called Mondo Keyhole?
Yeah, that was his first movie.
Whoa, baby. See her walking down the street? Bet she got a Mondo Keyhole. Thanks, construction worker. Like, what is that in title?
No, his
Mondo
third movie
Keyhole.
sounds like that in 1967 with Spider Baby.
That sounds cool.
Then in 1968, he did Fear Chamber, followed by House of Evil and Isle of the Snake People. And then in 1969, he did Pit Stop, took a little break. 1971, he did The Big Dollhouse, The Big Bird Cage, Coffee, Foxy Brown, and The Swinging Cheerleaders in 1974.
His biggest ones are Coffee and Foxy Brown.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, here is also the profile on Jack Hill.
Here we go.
I know we talked a little bit about him as a
we did.
writer, but he's a legendary cult film director. Jack went to the University of California to study film, where he was a classmate of Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh.
They worked together on student productions and later both apprenticed with the legendary Roger Corman.
Hey, there you go.
Working on The Terror, amongst other films. The Terror was the one that Jack Nicholson was in.
Oh.
While Coppola went on to win Oscars, Jack continued with low-budget exploitation films, several of which were highly profitable, especially The Big Dollhouse in 1971, which initiated the short-lived women in prison genre.
Ooh,
You need to watch every single one of those.
Francis Ford Coppola was making movies that were winning Oscars, but Jack Hill was making movies that was inspiring film directors like Quentin Tarantino.
And also so-called blaxploitation.
Yep.
Films like Coffee and Foxy Brown were major hits. All right. Cinematographer, Stephen M. Katz. I love his movies that he's done before.
Really?
These are Dirty O'Neill in 1974.
Sounds sexy.
The Kentucky Fried Movie in 1977.
Sexy.
Cult hit. The Blues Brothers in 1980.
Everybody loves that.
And Baby Geniuses to round it out in 1999. That's our cinematographer, Stephen Katz.
That's a wide array of different films there, buddy.
Sure. Editors such as Morton Tuber. He edited movies like The Slams in 1973, The Swinging Cheerleaders in 1974, and Cannonball in 1976.
Oh, is that with James Caan?
Cannonball starred David Carradine, and it was about racing across the country from LA to New York with a plethora of exotic cars carrying contestants hoping to win a very large sum. Now, of course, we don't usually talk about the composers.
We don't, you know what? And that's a shame.
I agree because I want to talk about Les Baxter. He composed 123 projects,
That's a lot.
but by this movie, he did not want to put his name on it.
Really?
So he went by Medusa.
oh, and that's what it says. Yeah, that's badass.
If he doesn't want to get credit for some of the projects, he would go under the following pseudonyms: Bax, B-A-X, and also Casanova.
Oh my God, that's so sexy.
This fella, Les Baxter, was born in 1922. He learned to play the piano at 5 years of age and studied at the Detroit Conservatory and at Pepperdine College in Los Angeles. His uncle was the college's first president. That's
That's cool. You think that's why he got in?
maybe.
So he didn't earn his way. Cool.
Baxter conducted a number of radio shows, including The Bob Hope Show.
Oh, there you go.
And that's it on The Usual Suspects.
That's neat. I like that. I want a pseudonym if for something I don't want to put my name on.
Were you ready to watch this movie?
Let's do it, baby.
All right. Okay, so Deborah
That's right.
has personally asked that you
Mhm.
go down there and get it.
Me go get it.
Yeah. She said that she's in the mood for some sourdough. I don't know what that means.
It's this little code. You probably wouldn't know what it means.
Okay,
Don't worry about
sure.
it. Sex.
Got you.
Do. Oh, Jared, do you have any rubbers?
What?
No, like a rubber hose.
Oh, a rubber hose?
Yeah, she likes to hit me.
I don't.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Do. Papa's gonna get some tonight.
I feel so alone up here and by myself right now. The noises that are coming from down below are so stressful.
Beepity boop bop. Woo, baby. Oh my God.
Jonathan, you have like a special glow about you.
I don't know. If I keep going like this,
Okay.
I'm going to need a hip replacement by the time I'm 40.
All right.
Wow.
Uh,
Who would have thought, huh?
so did you get the projector?
Hang on. I can't now. Just the projector. You got what you wanted. Now leave me alone.
Okay. All right.
Do you have a cigarette?
Yeah. Here you go.
No, I don't smoke.
Sure. All right.
Woo!
Well, I'll just go ahead and plug in these wires here. Really quick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
All right. Here we go.
My crotch is so itchy right now.
Meet the toughest gang of teenage girls ever to slash their way across a motion picture screen. Their parents didn't want them. Their teachers were scared of them. Even the cops couldn't tame them. Switchblade Sisters is a story of today and maybe a little bit of tomorrow.
All right. What'd you think of the movie, Jonathan?
Just based off of what we've seen in these cold case files, if you could sleep with either gang in some type of gang bang situation, would you take the Warriors or would you take the Switchblade Sisters, aka the Dagger Debs, aka the Jezebels?
Probably the Jezebels. And
Really?
the reason why.
That's cool.
And I feel like I would be berated because I don't look good in a vest with the Warriors.
Really?
They'd be like, "Eh, we don't want this guy around here."
Well, son of a bitch, I guess I'll take the Warriors then. Since I,
just no matter what.
that's interesting because I feel like the Warriors would have at me, but then afterwards take me out.
Oh.
They'd be like, let's cut that mattress off your back. Let's put you on
Yeah.
the Cyclone
Uh-huh.
and let's grab you a Coney dog.
Yeah.
Come on. I'd be
The
like,
Jezebels
"Thanks,
would
guys."
just leave me
bruised, battered, bleeding, but
Yeah.
satisfied.
just the way I like it.
Let's crack this case. Well, the movie starts out with we're in the leader of the Dagger Debs' apartment, and the mom is having a tough time, and the repo man's about to take the TV because she can't pay the rent, and she's like, Lace finds the repo man in the elevator. The rest of the girls who live in the same building, especially Donut, join in the elevator, and they rip off the guy's shirt, take his gun, and leave him feeling like less of a man.
And then they want to go celebrate at a burger joint, right?
They go to the burger joint.
and that's where they run into Maggie.
Now, be honest. How big of a crush did you have on Maggie, Jared?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Haven't seen a starlet like that in a long time.
A starlet.
Yeah. You know who didn't like her?
Who?
Patch.
Patch didn't like her?
Patch comes up to her and says, "Give us your money."
Yep.
And then Maggie pulls out her belt that's also like this little tasseled whip with balls.
Dirty Deb has that
Oh, really?
downstairs. Yeah. Quentin Tarantino, as you said, loves this movie and re-released it under his title. Patch and Maggie throws salt in her eye, in her good eye.
You're right.
And she starts freaking out and goes, "Bitch, my eye, someone get me water, this bitch," and starts freaking out. And I think that's where Quentin Tarantino got the idea
Oh, yeah.
for Kill Bill. Oh, I can't remember her
It's
name.
Daryl Hannah's character.
Yes, the blonde, which is great. He's an homage man. Everything great, and he puts into his films. Why not?
They all get arrested, and Maggie, the new girl in town, she hasn't been there before.
Nope.
Boy, oh boy, did the lesbian warden want to have a crack at her.
Spankly. Spankly is basically, you know, the Trunchbull from Matilda. It's basically, Spankly is her grandmother, pretty much. That's
Right.
how she seemed. And she had two cronies with her that weirdly look enough like Jared. But then Spankly comes out not just as a
Disciplinary.
She doesn't just come out as a librarian. She comes out as a hardcore lesbian with a lot of Harvey Weinstein vibes. And then who comes to the rescue?
Lace.
And they really give it to Spankly. Lace was telling her demands, and Spankly's like, "Come on, Lace, come on. What do you want? Lay off." Do you realize, and I don't know if you realize it if you go back and watch it, they had the plunger handle.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They were like
They were
threatening.
ready.
They were
Yeah.
threatening
And you knew where that was going.
her belly button.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I was just like, this movie's insane, man.
So this was Maggie's first offense in the area. So she was going to
Yep.
be released before the Dagger Debs.
Right.
Of course, Lace, as she is dating the head guy of the gang for, what were they called?
The Silver Daggers.
Silver Daggers.
What was his name? Dominic?
Dom. Basically, Lace hands Maggie a note
Yep.
that says, "Give this to Dom. Let him know I'm thinking about him."
And then Maggie goes off, meets the Silver Daggers at their hideout. Pool table, empty boxes, beer cans, graffiti, broken windows.
Right.
Hands
Always a
them a
great place for romance. And Dom like an idiot, gets the note from Maggie, reads it out loud.
Yeah, which I didn't understand. And it was a love poem, and it was beautiful. And all the guys in the Silver Daggers make fun of him. But what was cool is Meg, because she's a tough chick, she was like, hey, man, screw you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so later that night, Dom barges into Maggie's house and rapes her.
And then the mom finds out, hey, there's a guy in here. And she has a gentleman caller in the bedroom.
That's right, she does.
He's the landlord of the apartment building. And
She's
about
paying rent, if you know what I mean.
They're having sex for rent.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I thought she was paying rent.
You can't pay rent. You have to do sex for rent. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
No, I thought she was just literally paying him rent.
What do you mean pay him? What does that mean, check for rent? Mr. Sangiovese comes to my house every month, and I have to pay him rent.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so yes. Everybody has sex to pay rent.
The landlord comes out, and he goes, hey, you punk, but then realizes it's Dom from the Silver Daggers, and he backs off. He goes, do you know who they are? Then grabs the mother, brings her back into the bedroom. I mean, it just opens up a window into the gang world. Yeah.
And Dom, for the Silver Daggers, well, he was done doing his thing.
Yep.
Never took his clothes off, which I felt, gentlemanly.
How else would you do it?
I don't know. And then she said a line that I typically hear. You got what you wanted, now get out. But here's what was weird about that. Maggie wasn't really distraught about it.
That's true.
So Lace is then released from juvenile.
Out of the clink.
And finds Dom and wants to rekindle their relationship. I got special news for you. I got a little Dom inside me right now.
Got a little Dom in the oven. Lace is pregnant with Dom's baby.
That's what I was trying to say.
It is. Yep.
How does Dom take this news?
He takes it how any single man would take it. He's not happy.
Who then fell in love with another woman.
He fell in love with another woman. And hey, I can tell you folks from personal experience, Jared has been there a many a time. And then you feel bad for Lace because it's like, we're on two completely different pages in this relationship.
Absolutely.
My life is not what I thought it would be. I thought you were there for me, but you're obviously not. And now I have your baby. We jumped a big part.
Which part did we jump?
We jumped the part where Meg has to join the gang. But to do so, to be part of the gang, she has to go through a trial.
I know that.
Patch speaks up and goes, no way. I lost an eye for this gang, remember? Patch then introduces us to Crab, the Silver Daggers' #1 enemy.
He's like essentially a Davy Jones from the movies.
Yes, but he has a vision. He's not just doing this small nickel and dime stuff around high school.
He wants to be mayor.
He
has political aspirations.
He has a whole gambit where he gets people to come to rehab, but then realistically sells them drugs. So then later on, you find out he has a meeting with the mayor. Right. And that, when you look at Dominic and the Silver Daggers, you see gang members, you see problems, and no one's going to take a meeting with them. But when you see a smart, educated man like Crab, he's like, yes, am I a gang member? Absolutely. Do I have my fingers in all the dirty bits around town? 100%. But I'm going to present myself like a professional. It's called a facade.
Here's the problem.
It's genius.
The difference between Dom and Crabs is Dom can rape a woman, and after which she'll fall in love with him. Krabs, on the other hand, he essentially has to find other avenues to impress and to move forward in life.
I disagree. Meg didn't love Dom. She obviously despised this man for good reason. His hair is horrible. And at that, she's already in too deep. Wow. Remember I did that undercover stint in prison? You go take a shower. You take a shower for about an hour. You take a shower for an hour. And then you go upstairs in your little robe, and if there's a candy bar on your pillow, if you eat that, you owe someone. You don't want to be in the debt to bad people because they will squeeze you until you're nothing but the rind, baby. You don't do favors for gang members, and you never let gang members do favors for you. So Meg, unbeknownst to her, just by defending herself in a burger joint, which I've done millions of times, she accidentally got involved with the Dagger Debs. Now she's in the gang world. You don't want to deal with gang members.
Lesson learned. She goes in, seduces Krabs, gives him a little. She chompas down on him.
Gets the medallion off of Krabs' neck, which is a Nazi medal from like World War II. But the part that holds the medallion onto the necklace
is a Confederate
soldier's like headband. It was a real interesting mix of just hatred around this guy's neck. Well, like it was just all hatreds in one jewelry.
It makes sense. Maggie goes back to the silver daggers and says, I got him.
Nobody saw it
Exactly.
coming. Mm-hmm.
Nobody saw it coming. Exactly.
Nobody saw it coming.
Patch is very, very upset with
Mhm.
Maggie.
She don't like
She
her.
doesn't like what's happening
Nope.
because Lace, the leader of the Dagger Debs,
Lace at this point really does like Maggie.
yeah,
She does.
and Maggie likes Lace.
But that's what it also shows you, because just like Lace felt betrayed by Dominic when he was disgusted that she was pregnant, Patch felt betrayed by Lace in the burger joint when they didn't want to cut up Meg for beating up Patch. And it kind of makes sense, right? Because you have Patch who's in this gang. It's her family. She probably comes from a broken family, and she found her friendships and her love and her family in this gang. And she's thinking they have my back no matter what. But really, in the gang world, what matters is power. And since you lost the fight, you are less valuable to me. And that probably hurt Patch a lot. You know, I felt that with Patch. Me and
So
Patch
there
have a
was-
connection.
After the medallion was stolen from Krabs, they wanted to do retaliation. And Dom has a younger brother. Krabs kills Dom's younger brother in a drive-by.
Outside of a high school,
Mhm.
all these people are in high school. The principal does what they say. That's
Dom's
it.
upset.
Yep.
Where does this lead us?
The roller rink. Now, for those of you that don't know what a roller rink is, it's a giant floor where you put on roller skates and you go in a circle and you dance, and people find you attractive, and you laugh and you have fun. Anywho, so that's where they go, and their plan is to attack there. They're going to get Krabs at his home base, the roller rink.
And that turns into an all-out bloodbath.
Oh, I did not see that bloodbath coming.
Well, no one did.
That was awesome.
Except Maggie suspects that a traitor is now amongst the group.
Well, there is. Lace has already told Crab about the plan. They're going to kill you at this time. I'm telling you this. And all I want you to do is blow Maggie's face off.
Right. Because Dom is more in love with Maggie than he is with Lace.
And she is correct. And so Lace thinks, wow, if Maggie wasn't here, my life would be perfect. It
but
wouldn't,
also,
girl. It wouldn't.
who's telling her this?
Patch?
Because Patch has everything to gain with Maggie out of the picture.
But to be fair, Patch is right. Maggie is in the way. And I wonder if Dom would be like, we're having a little baby. And would he enjoy the idea
if the
of having a
girl
baby
wasn't
Lace?
around.
Exactly. So anyway, we're at the roller rink, and the Silver Daggers pull out some guns. Because it's an ambush and Krabs was already in on it, more guys pull out some like M1s. I mean, they're
Everybody's
pulling out crazy
machine
machine guns. They're pulling out rifles, and they start shooting everybody. And Krabs pulls out a sawed-off shotgun and just boom, Dom dies.
Yeah.
And Lace is just bawling her
Krabs
eyes
has
out.
no motivation to really kill Maggie.
Well, Lace
What
is
does he care?
Lace is an idiot. Why would you think another gang member would be like, oh,
What do you need?
You want me to help you with your girl troubles? All right. It's like, no. He's like, great. So what you're basically telling me is you're
Dom's
stupid.
going to be in this area.
He's coming into the lion's den.
into a bloodbath, and
Yep.
you want me to just kill Maggie?
Right. He's
Yeah.
bringing guns and knives, and you want me to shoot a girl? You got a deal, sweetheart. Now, how about a little bit of a blow gym with
And she's
no
like,
chomp
well,
chomp?
okay, because there's already too much gas in the tank, if you know what I mean. Now back at the hideout.
Yep.
And they are furious right now.
Right.
Lace is doing a lot of angry talking through her teeth.
Yep. Dom's dead.
That's all she does, by the way. When she's angry, her teeth don't move. That's an interesting acting choice.
It didn't bother me. I liked it. It just made it seem like more of a real person than an actor.
Patch and Lace spring it upon Maggie. They say Maggie is the one. She goes, I'll set up Dom at the roller skating rink if you give me the medallion.
Interesting. So what's Maggie's rebuttal?
Maggie says, no, that's not true.
Great rebuttal.
But more importantly, Maggie's also backed up by...
Bunny and Donut.
Man, how do you know that?
They're cool. Bunny
they're
and
like-
Donut are girls, and they're starting to see Maggie as a real leader of this gang. She's the one that's there for them. She's the one supporting them, and she's not getting them into trouble.
Yeah, because as soon as Dom died, Maggie said, hey, ladies, let's become the Jezebels.
Right. And we're going to start running the show. Now, at this point, all the Silver Dagger boys, they're beat up. They're beaten. They're bruised, broken feet, shot in the eye. They're beat up. So the girls kick them out of the hideout. Now it's girl time, baby. Big dick move by the ladies.
And we're now the Jezebels,
boom.
led by Maggie. She goes to meet one of her friends who is her name is Muff. And she's the leader of an African American gang of militants.
Do you know what muff makes me think of?
What?
Muffins.
Oh, me too.
Maggie was able to make connection because she used to date one of the guys.
Yep.
And they go hard.
She used to date one of the African American militants.
Yes. We're gonna get revenge on Crab because it's messed up.
And then Lace and Patch, they think during this big shootout, hey, we're going to go ahead and just take out Maggie.
Maggie gets wise. She says somebody must have told Krabs what was going down at the roller rink, which is why he got the jump on the silver daggers. I'm going to make him confess to tell me who did it. Maggie has no idea that it's Lace. So now, big shootout erupts. Armored car in the middle of the street. There's explosions. Boom, boom, boom. Shootout. We're killing a lot of Krabs, guys. Now we have Krabs.
Cornered.
The worst spot. He's at the bottom of a stairwell. Nowhere to go but up. And who's up there? You got Maggie pointing a gun at him. You have Lace pointing a gun. And you have Patch pointing a gun. There's nothing he can do. Maggie is about to ask Krabs what happened, and I believe it's Patch shoots him. Lace and Patch are about to kill Maggie. But who pulls up? Our warrior communist sisters pull up, and they go, we gotta roll. The cops are on their way. They all dip out.
But at that time, I don't think Lace was going to kill Maggie at that point.
I think she was.
You think she was really building up to it?
I think that was suspense building on the filmmaker's part.
I really felt
like how
hesitation with Lace.
Really, because like how dry would it have been if Maggie goes, hey, what's going on here? Wait a minute. He was about to talk. And then Lace pulls a gun on her.
Right.
And then before we even have a time to process is what's going on. Like, oh, she's about to shoot her. A car pulls up and goes, we got to go. It's just
right,
like, it's too quick, you know?
That's where it was.
I feel like that was suspense building. It's like, oh, dun, 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 dun. They go back to the hideout and Meg puts it all together. But there's a coup. Lace, Patch, and Donut the pushover. They call out Maggie. They say, Maggie did it, Maggie did it, Maggie did it. Bunny, our $5 angel, says, no way. That's not what happened. I don't believe it anymore. To see who's going to be the leader of the Jezebels, that's our new name for the gang, we're going to do an old-fashioned switchblade fight. Now, Jared, last week was embarrassing for me. I tried to show you my switchblade,
Okay.
and I was embarrassed.
You were.
But don't fear, because this week I have my switchblade, and it is in the handle. As you see, I put a piece of Scotch tape over the blade to make sure it does not come out inappropriately. Now, this is what they use to do the fight. They start swinging.
Put it down. Put it down. Okay. All right. Hey, I came prepared. I have Neosporin and hydrogen peroxide. Here you go. Here we go. It's going to sting a little bit.
It hurts really good, Jared.
Yeah, I understand. During the fight, though.
Now, the cops in this movie are excellent because anytime there's some gang violence going on, a cop gets the beautiful idea of, hey, just let it happen.
Right.
Let them kill each other. So at the end, all the cops surround the hideout and the one cop goes, hang on, we're not going in until there's a murder because we really want to nail these broads. Real bad. Yeah. So they wait. Boom. We get the murder.
Maggie fatally stabs Lace in the throat. That was very intense. And I also appreciated all of the shadow fighting as well.
Yes.
The gang proudly proclaim themselves as the Jezebels. But when Patch attempts to identify herself as a member of the gang to the police, the worst thing that can ever happen to Patch was to not even be acknowledged by the Jezebels.
Well, imagine
that was her fate.
That is like being in the middle of the ocean without a boat. I mean, imagine like when you're in a gang, the area you're growing up in is so violent, so aggressive that you need people watching your back. And when you feel like you're alone, I mean, that must be the scariest thing for Patch's world.
I love the over-the-top performance by Maggie when she breaks down in tears and starts just screaming while she's being loaded into the back of the police van. We're the Jezebels, and we'll return one day. No, Jonathan,
so you didn't enjoy
I need to go to the bathroom.
Well, no, Jared, you can't go.
Why not?
Piss in that cup.
Okay.
Because if you leave, things are going to get real bad.
All right, I'll just go. Patsy's. Robin Lee played Lace. The only part that I can take from her performance was she does a lot of talking through her teeth when she's angry.
You didn't like that, huh?
No, I thought it was so bad. What did you think about her performance?
I liked her performance, but she had this toughness to her, but also seemed vulnerable, which is exactly what she was.
Perfect casting.
She had this toughness, but then when she's with Dom, she's vulnerable.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Joanne Nail.
Maggie.
She retired from acting after marrying a Harvard Law School graduate named Joseph Gallagher. He served as the president of Industrial Light and Magic and the executive assistant to the president of Universal Studios and a corporate VP in 20th Century Fox.
What does his wife do?
She starred in the movie called Switchblade Sisters.
That's it?
That's Maggie. Yeah, her husband went on to do a lot of great things.
I told you we were watching it because you were like, man, what is she? How come this girl didn't blow up? And I said, I guarantee she probably met somebody after this movie and just got married.
Well, this guy worked really hard to make sure that he can hold on to
with a
it
girl
like that.
Yeah, with a girl like that, you can't just have looks or a big dingus. You need to have the whole gambit, as my wife would say as she left.
Monica Gale, Patch. Oh, she went on to be in a trashy softcore exploitation.
You talk to her like that. You feel these hands. You feel these hands. I'm sorry, Jared. I'm sorry. When you talk about Patch like that,
Right.
it just puts this rage in me.
You mean Monica Gale?
Yes.
That she was in a handful of trashy.
Son of a bitch! I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, you'll be happy to know that after that, she abruptly stopped acting in the late 1970s and seemed to have vanished into oblivion.
Aw.
Bunny, do you know what Janice Carmen went on to do?
No, tell.
She's a writer and producer and best known for Alvin and the Chipmunks in 1983.
Whoa.
And the Chipmunk Adventure in 1987 and Alvin and the Chipmunks in 2007.
Dang, that's cool.
You mentioned Donut, correct? Her name was Kitty Bruce and also is actually Lenny Bruce, the comedian's daughter.
Whoa. Donut is the biggest of all the Dagger Debs. And she has many lines where she says she's hungry, especially in the donut scene. Everyone's ordering burgers and shakes. And Donut comes up to Lace and goes, can I get double fries and a double patty burger and a milkshake? And Lace just lays into her and goes, you fat little piggy. Pulls Donut's nose to make her look like a pig and says, say it, oink, oink. Donut obliges, as any of us would, and goes, oink, oink. And then Lace says, you'll get nothing. They just really laid into Donut, but I'm going to tell you right now, man.
She would have got double fries if she was out with you.
She would have gotten triple fries.
Chaz Newhart, Krabs, he went on to be a second unit director for such movies as Jean-Claude Van Damme's Death Warrant, 1990, and also The Adventures in Appletown in 2008. Asher Braun Dominic, R.I.P., he did pass away.
No.
He was a member of Second City in Chicago.
Whoa.
And the Actor Studio in New York.
I like that. A comedic guy doing some gang stuff. Good for him.
Box office.
Oh, and Hook.
Box office wasn't. Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Hook went on to be Bob from that 70s show.
He was played by Don Stark.
Donna's daddy.
Box office. Quentin Tarantino, a longtime fan of Jack Hill's work, he held a huge premiere and a celebration at the theater in Los Angeles where the original cast attended.
That's so badass. Because why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Fucking 30 years later, Quentin Tarantino's like, hey, I own your movie. Come to this theater.
All of the actors and the performers of Switchblade Sisters.
He's an homage, man.
Ready to go into deductions?
Yes, let's solve this goddamn cold case once and for all. Let me get the paperwork out.
Oh, excellent.
That we hand in. All right, go for it.
Key to the City.
Key to the City.
The best star of the movie. Who would you give it to?
I would. No, don't make me do this. I don't have a word for it. As much as I am addicted to Patch, I'm gonna have to give it to Crab.
You give it to Chase Newhart.
Everyone in this movie gave his all, but he just really drove. He was just like, nah, I'm doing all of it.
I think my favorite, obviously, was just Joanne Nail as Maggie. She gave it hard.
You say that because
good.
you had a crush on her. That's why.
I don't believe so. Given the chance, Monica Gale or Joanne Nail, which one do you take?
Chance for what?
That they would fall in love with you. You know what? Here's the problem.
Fall in love with me?
Joanne Nail, you would have to be a Harvard Law School graduate and become the president of Universal Studios and even the president of Industrial Light and Magic. And
I flunked out of
couldn't get
community
it.
college 4 times.
You're right.
That's not going to happen for me.
All right. Fall Guy, worst character actor in the movie.
Ooh, I just can't fill that out. I'm gonna make an assumption of what you're gonna say, and I think you're gonna say Lace.
Yeah, Lace was pretty bad because her anger was what I call pedestrian at best.
What does that mean? Pedestrian?
Yeah, it's not interesting. It's not nuanced. Flashback, best scene of the movie. My favorite scenes in the movie, all the cops show up to the burger
I already
joint.
know what it
The
is.
girls run out, and it looks like first time any of them have ever been a part of a movie before. And one of the cops
I already know what
runs
you're about to
into Bunny,
say.
and his hand just drifts slowly.
He grabs her by the ass. This extra piece of trash who got a scene in the movie. He's like,
Because there was a lot of action going
cops
on.
a field, Jared.
Cops a field?
Yeah, hey, Jared.
Yeah.
Who was that extra's favorite magician?
Who?
David Copperfield.
What was your favorite scene in the
Fuck.
movie?
Oh, that's tough. Is there a category of favorite line in the movie?
That's coming up.
Okay, so my favorite scene. My favorite scene in the movie is the juvenile detention scene with Spankley. Loved it.
That's the one that felt the most real, and I think launched a lot of these women in prison movies.
And it was such a turn out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it was like Spankley comes in here, she's like, oh, she's a hard ass lady.
Disciplinary.
Yeah. And you gotta feel for Maggie, and this just tells you the girl almost got raped, and then she did get raped by
Dom.
a guy from Second City. Let's be real. I mean, that's her life. It's brutal. And that's why movies from the 70s are so great.
That was the best scene in the movie that you're referring to. And I'm almost afraid to go into the red herring, which is the worst scene in the movie.
The worst scene in the movie? What do you think it was?
It had to be, in my opinion, when a rogue van flies up into a school, door swings open, sawed-off shotgun comes out. Dom's younger brother looks perplexed.
So
It's gunned down in the middle of school,
Yeah.
and then suddenly we're not in some
They kidnapped
fun
that girl.
70s swinging movie. We're in a very intense, true-to-life scene
Jared,
that just took me right out of the
we
movie.
were never, ever in that swinging 70s show. We were in a hard, intense movie. They kidnapped that girl.
Yeah.
Now, again, I said it last time. I'm going to say it again. We know what Dom did to Meg. These gang members kidnapped a woman and killed a man. So your red herring is the gunning down of Dominic's younger brother. My red herring is the opening scene. Street smarts, Jared. Now, street smarts, the best quote of the movie. What do you think in your detective mind as I'm filling out this paperwork to solve this case once and for all? What do you think the best quote of the movie was?
If you leave, something real bad's gonna happen.
That's a great quote, and I'm going to write it down here. Jot it down. Who would you replace in this movie with Ruckert Howard? Obviously, video action movie star of what I believe to be possibly the best action movie ever. Split second.
Probably Krabs, but Krabs was your favorite, though.
Hey. You can't let that personal connection we have.
Yeah, I think I would
Mostly and sexually.
Well, putting the Ruck into this movie would be like, if this movie was a nightlight in a children's room,
That's interesting.
it would essentially be powering that children's nightlight with a nuclear reactor.
That is the most interesting analogy I've ever heard in my life.
He's just too potent and powerful to be in this movie.
Okay, I agree with you. And also, I would put him in to replace Patch. As you know, we do have a copy of the key to the evidence room right here. I'm going to twirl it on my finger ever so gently. Oh, God. Probably. Oh.
Did you just lose the key to the evidence room?
Gumshoe! No! Somebody drank all the beer in Santiago's office.
Oh, I've been meaning to talk to you.
Get this! A pair of panties was left in his sofa.
What?
Oh my God, Cap, you think his wife is having an affair? Shut up! Obviously, the panty face killer busted in here.
Let me just be
right
the first
under
to
our
say
effing noses.
That his wife's definitely not having an affair with anybody. Absolutely not.
I know that.
Right.
Obviously, the PFK, the panty face killer, snuck into the precinct under our goddamn noses.
Oh,
Went into Santiago's office, drank all his beer, and shove some panties in the damn sofa. We're getting the beer tested for dinner. We're getting the panties tested for
Captain,
dinner.
I believe it's pronounced DNA.
Don't you correct me.
Sorry.
We're getting everything tested for dinner. Dinner, yeah, Cap. Shut up, okay?
Oh, he's saying DNA, Jonathan.
Ian, what? We're gonna catch this bastard. You, yeah, Cappy. The date club, where's it at? It's just the contractors are struggling and eggs are just so, shut up, okay?
I think he's worried about his own
I'm
investment.
talking to the mayor because I hear the PFK has a thing for day clubs. Jesus, he's gonna be my only customer. We're gonna set up a sting, boys. Sting just like Robert Redford and my favorite
Paul Newman.
the sting. Shut up. The sting. God, beautiful eyes, huh? Here's what we're gonna do. Get down to the lab at 2 a.m. We're gonna catch this bastard. Bye, Cap. Jared, we're in trouble here.
Okay.
I got something to tell you. I was in Santiago's office.
Wait a minute.
He's just a close friend. And when I was trying to get the mindset of the Payface killer, probably came off my
Your
DNA.
head, and then it's now in there, and now Cap has that.
We have to go down to the lab
And get the panties before the profiler sees them.
or burn everything.
Burn down
The beer
profile-
cans.
No, we'll just replace the panties. Do you remember what kind of panties they were?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. We got to be down there at 2.
Uh-huh.
Right now it's 12:30.
Right.
We got enough time. We're gonna head down to the Goodwill, buy some more panties, try them on, really get in the mind.
No.
of the
We
panty-
just need to find the same panties that you had that you lost inside of Santiago's office.
and swap them out.
right.